I'm Alan Rodriguez, and this is my Aldan American equipped 1970 Buick Skylark Custom. So the history of this car is basically a family car. It's been in our family since 1992, 1993. Got married, started a family, had a son, sold all my muscle cars, Buick GS's and 442s, because family came first. We decided that it was time to bring a good classic car back to our lives. So looking around for those cars, again, Grand Sports or 442s were a little pricey. So we found this 40,000 original miles 70 Buick Skylark Custom, and we brought it to the household, had great time, drove it around for a long time. Gave it to my son in high school when he was 17 years old. He drove it around a lot, had a good time with it, and then he joined the Army, got married. This car was not practical for him. Gave away my wife's car, traded my wife's car for this car back from him, and he did the right thing. So we enjoyed it for a while, and then he wanted it back, so we negotiated. Still not in his hands yet, as you can see. But he did push me to upgrade it. We put a 455. We went ahead and put a manual transmission, some gear in the back, and it's basically a daily cruiser going to car shows and having some fun. So yeah, I actually made a car list one day of all the cars I owned and sold, and it's actually kind of embarrassing. I think the list came up to 52 cars. Even my wife and I go, oh boy, that's a lot. But all of them been fun, and you sell one to get the next, and then you sell that one to get the next, and this is where you end up. Life does a lot of turns and circles, and then this is what I have. So all the years working on old classic cars, engines, transmission, rear ends, which I have the skills to do. Suspension is always a spot that kind of scares me and everything, and this car, let's just say it was soft in suspension. It didn't act the way it looked. So getting together with Aldan American and putting their suspension package on it just turned the car completely around. It looks the part, feels the part, and rides fantastic. I couldn't have been any happier at the end results. So all the years working on cars in the past, I wish I had Aldan American was around back then. That's the part that was missing on these old cars. I got them to drive straight, got them to sound good, but going around corners, having fun and everything, they were just flip over to one side, flip over the other side. That's the gap on these old cars. So when doing research on different suspension companies out there, I did a lot of research, internet, going on Facebook, getting people's opinions, going back and forth, and it just kept coming back to Aldan American. I think what's good about Aldan American is the way they're built, American made locally. You can't get anything better than that. American car with American parts. What else can you ask for? The quality of their suspension parts, their springs, the look, the way they coat everything, great. Fits the first time, that's another thing, where you get suspension from other companies and you have to fight them to get in there. This one was plug and play. It's like just go and put it in. You can do it in a day and you go drive it that afternoon. This car has approximately about 107,000 miles, and it's been through a lot of worn out parts. Unfortunately, a lot of other suspensions that were put on here didn't last very long, so they wore out faster than the factory suspension. Having Aldan American with all brand new bushings, brand new suspension springs, the coilovers are great so you can adjust your height. I don't have to heat up coils to shrink them. I don't have to put spacers. I just pick my adjustment, adjust it. If I don't like it today, I adjust it tomorrow. So part of the advantage of having Aldan American suspension is my wife likes coming into the car more often. Getting on the freeway, my wife would always complain, this car is a bench seat 4-speed car. Old car doesn't have those bolsters to hold you in place, right? We would turn and she would slide right over to me. Not that I didn't mind that, but she would always hold on to the door handle saying, yeah, this is terrible. So now with the stiffer suspension and it plants itself good on the road, I miss it a little bit. She doesn't slide over as much as she used to, but she is definitely much happier to get in this car. So one of the drawbacks about Aldan American is now my son is begging me to have the car back. He's ridden the car and he loves this thing, and it's like, uh-oh, maybe I shouldn't have done this, but definitely worth it. Just joking around, but he's noticed the ride dramatically different and would love to see that in his garage again.